Hi folks, it's John from lastchanceautorestore.com. I'd like to introduce you to a very, very rare Volkswagen air-cooled bus. Client just dropped it off. He's been on our waiting list for quite a while. This is a 1958 Volkswagen Transporter or Volkswagen cargo van. Several names for them. A lot of guys will nickname them the Splitty or Split Window. This is extremely rare year, 1958. So it's a cargo style. It's going to require quite a bit of metal work, as they all do. And then what we're going to try and do, we can see on the side, I don't know if it'll come up with the camera as we go across, but it still has a lot of the original hand-painted lettering where you can see alterations, renovations, and then you've got CNS, and I believe that says construction up above, and custom cabinets. So you can see there's a lot of patina, and then those of you that look through it with my eyes, you see a lot of rust and a lot of metal work that's going to be required. These buses or vans are extremely popular, and being this old, it seems to be quite rare, and getting rarer obviously as time goes on, being in 1958. So there's some neat features on this, like they've got the sliding windows on the side, the vent window. Obviously they're notorious for their having the two separate front windshields. They always need quite a bit of work on the front noses. Behind the bumper you can see it's all rotted through. So when the van, it just got dropped off and we brought it inside out of this nasty weather we have here in Canada. Someone's done some media blasting on it just to kind of show the worst sections, and then we'll be dealing with it. So it's very typical where it's going to require the front nose, the inside reinforcement piece, and some structural pieces. These fenders always go on them, so we're not surprised about that. The bottoms of the doors. And then when we open the door, you can see there's quite a bit of corrosion. So we've got a donor door here that's in very, very rough condition. We're going to see what we can come up with that. So the client has basically stripped it. Some of the glass has been broken, which we'll deal with a little bit later on. But most of the components have been removed. The floors are rotted and going to need replacement. Sorry, I should have probably moved all that out of the way, but there's lots of like Swiss cheese kind of thing in the floors, so we have a supplier to replace with the factory correct looking metal. So it's here for a lot of metal work, obviously. And as you come down the side, very typical on Volkswagens. If you imagine a body molding kind of idea from this section down, they get really rusty, and you can see where you've got holes rusted through in numerous locations along the rocker panel. They refer to this section here as the jack post, and you can see there's nothing holding that in. And then the metal that's attached to this jack post is referred to as the outrigger, and they're all rotted and the floor is rotted. But this is something we do all the time, so that's basically what it's here for. And then one of the ideas our client has after we have all the metal work done is we're going to maintain the patina. He doesn't want to strip this all down and redo the body. I believe this this construction family is still in business and still operating. It's obviously a different generation, so I think they're in the Saskatchewan area, so they'll probably see this video too, which is kind of neat. Something that you don't see every day is bullet holes. So we've got, I think there was 2 or 3 bullet holes through the panels. There's one over here. So at some point someone didn't have as much respect for this 58 bus as I do, but so we'll repair those, and then we're going to basically try to match up. We've done it before, we've done a patina look, because we can match up. You can see where we've got there's blues and whites. So we'll do the same kind of idea with all new metal, make it structurally sound and safe, but it'll have that rustic look to it. We come around the back. These notorious for the tiny little tail lights here, and you can see where someone's done some dust blasting, exposed some of the holes that they have there. Normally these, especially this style, the back battery tray areas and the round over part and the curl over, they're typically rotted right off, and this still has quite a bit to go by, but we'll still be replacing those panels. And the engine bay, we'll thoroughly clean that up and go through it, but that looks like it, to me, that's original paint. You can see it has the factory stamping with the serial number, but you can see quite a bit of surface rust inside. and there's some damage to the lips and stuff. And on the inside of the van, someone's done some media blasting, and then they've just sprayed a little bit of this red oxide primer just to help it from flashing off with rusting. And you can see, obviously, I think it'll come up with the camera through the floors. You can see all the floor rot there, which is really typical. A lot of Swiss cheese rust through there, but we have a supplier for new floor pans and jack riggers and all that kind of thing. The outriggers and jack posts, I should say. So in here, we kind of have an idea. What we'll do is we'll tidy all this up inside, and then we'll apply a two-part epoxy when all the body repairs are done. And then it'll have a gray inside, which will kind of match the patina. And then we come along this, the passenger side of the bus. You can see we're going to have to do quite a bit of work on this fuel door. It's been damaged and banged around quite a bit. It's kind of interesting because you've got the louvers. These are factory louvers here up above, and then you have the louvers down below. So it gave them extra ventilation back then. And then we come to the sides. The doors are quite damaged. Someone's added quite a piece of steel iron there as a step and stick welded across. So obviously we'll be removing that, and we'll open up these doors just so you get a better look. So they're going to need quite a bit of work, but overall they're pretty decent shape. So someone's welded this, and you can see how wonderful this stick welding is going all the way across. So we're going to remove all of that, and then we'll properly media blast all of this. And you can see we've got the back door with the CNS construction. It's faded, but it's still there, which is kind of neat. And that's all hand painted, and that was back in 1958. So we like that rustic kind of look to it. And if the camera person can kind of tuck in here if I don't have too much glare, you can see over the years someone's done some old brazing repair there to the floor at different times, but we'll eliminate all of that and we'll put all new floors in. And we have the new floors put in, then we'll make sure that we epoxy it and seal it properly. And you can see there's a perfect example. So your jack post is on the outside, and then the floor goes in, and that's a typical rotted area on those, and that's the only structure when you go to jack the vehicle up. So we want to make sure that we perform the repairs properly there. But overall, these are very, very hard to get. They're very neat. They require a lot of work. You can see there's also a serial number here. I'm not sure if it'll come up in the camera, but you've got the original stamping of the serial number once again behind the passenger seat. And then you've got the punch out for the spare tire. So back then the spare tire kind of rested in there. And then you've got the two seats in the front. And then once again you can see a lot of the rust and stuff and some dents and damage to the floor. And then the outside fenders, which we'll replace. And then you can see this is quite tricky. We've got this one donor door that is quite bad. So we'll figure out what we can do with the door. And so basically what we're going to do is just the introduction on it. Very rare 58 Volkswagen bus. What we'll do is we'll put it up on one of our portable dollies or hoist, and we'll make a material list of all the steel we're going to require, and we'll order all the steel. And then as we continue, once we start doing the fabrication, we'll share with you the steps along the way on removing the old metal and putting the new steel in. So I thank you for watching. I'm John from lastchanceautorestore.com.